I am Filipino. I would always be a Filipino, but I'm a Canadian, and Canada is my home now. I've had, I guess, like you could say, life's trials and tribulations. I experienced here in Canada. All my children were born here in Canada. I got married here in Canada, so I'm a Canadian.
My mom didn't always feel this way. She came to Canada in the summer of 1972 after her sister and cousin had secured her job in a Winnipeg garment factory, having arrived in Winnipeg themselves as part of the first waves of Filipino garment factory workers recruited from the Philippines through a partnership between the government and Winnipeg industry beginning in 1968.
In the beginning, I thought it was just like a temporary thing where I come here, I help the family, I make money, and then I go back home. And I already have a sister that's here in Canada, and she would always send us money. And so I thought that time, oh, Canada is rich. Canada is like, where you go and buy whatever you want and help your family and able to send money to your parents every month, because that's what my sister did. When I arrived in Canada, I never saw anybody except for Canadians and Filipinos. This Canada that's populated with Filipinos. It is true what they call Manitoba, like a friendly Manitoba. It is very true. They don't look at the color of your skin. They don't look at the shape of your eyes. They just treat you like you're one of them.
She adapted quickly. Speaking the language and easily finding work eased her transition. In the Philippines, when my mom was growing up, the language of instruction for schools was English, a legacy of U.S. annexation there. And having an existing family network in Winnipeg also helped.
It was hard just for me when I first came here. It was because I missed my family. It was the first time for me to leave home that time. So every night I used to cry. I remember my brother-in-law taking us out every night. We would just drive around, and then on the weekends we would never be home. We would just go to the park. We were just outside, just because we when we're at home, we miss home. As time goes by, as years goes by, you kind of get used to the life here. Although you're working minimum wage, so you're able to buy whatever you want. Whereas back home, even if you make more than the minimum wage, you're still not able to provide for the family.
In 1979, she moved to Vancouver after my dad had secured a job with CP Air. Though there were far less Filipinos when she arrived, my mom found new ways to connect with her culture in unexpected places.
We would go to Chinatown every week, and then they had siopao. Seeing those mangoes, the Filipino mangoes, for the first time. Yeah, so that was really, really good. Yeah, seeing the fruit that you don't see at Safeway from back home, and you see them in Chinatown. So just you go there. It was just like, oh, I'm home. It's just like I'm in the Philippines shopping. And at that time, I did not drive. So I would go to Chinatown. Sometimes me and Tita Linda would go to Chinatown, and we come home, and we always just took the bus. And when we come home, there's tons and tons of bags, pounds and pounds we carry groceries, and we took the bus. And so I think that's how I got strong.
Over the years, my mom worked hard and dedicated herself to raising a family. As I was growing up, I never would have guessed that my mom held on to a conception of home outside of Canada, but at some point in my teen years, she began casually discussing retirement plans to move back home to the Philippines.
We went home to the Philippines. It was just like life was so easy. they have a small house and stuff, but they have a maid cooking for them. They have a maid like washing their, like, you know, their dishes and washing their clothes for them. And so you're kind of like, in here, it was just like you go to work, and then you go to you know, you go home, and all the stresses that you experience at work, you come home, you gotta cook, you gotta clean the house, you gotta do everything yourself. And so seeing that life back home, just, you know, just made me wanted to go back and experience life without stress. This was I guess at that time when I was just having a midlife crisis. This was at that time when I was just like, work was just getting to me, stressing me out. My dad passing away, dying of cancer and all that stuff. It was just like, at that time it was like, I want to go back home. So I went home and we started a business. It did not work, but the time that I was there, it was different. It was not the same as it used to be. It was not the same as I remembered it to be. It was, I guess that's what you would call culture shock. It was tough, and at that point when it was just like, oh, this is no longer home for me. Yes, when I came back, I was just like, this is home. Like, I am home.